Good morning to all. Next topic we are considering from the unit 4 as a fluid dynamics. So already we consider fluid statics. In that fluid we consider as a assume as a stationary fluid in a container or fluid is not moving. That is example of fluid statics. Next we consider the fluid kinematics. In fluid kinematics we are consider the motion of the fluid, and in that we are not concerned about the forces acting on the fluid, only velocity and acceleration and visualization of flow we have considered in fluid kinematics. Now next part of the fluid mechanics is fluid dynamics. So here dynamics means we are considering the in fluid dynamics we are considering the fluid motion with the forces causing the flow. So in last kinematics, we have find out only velocity and acceleration of the fluid particle. But we are not concerned about what is the reason of the fluid motion or why fluid is moving or what forces causing the flow. In fluid dynamics, we are considering the fluid motion, that is velocity acceleration of the fluid with the forces causing the flow. So forces, we know forces to the fluid may be are pressure forces. Pressure may be applied by the pumps, then pressure can be applied to the gases as a compressor, pumps, compressors. Again, pressure flow may be due to the gravity, or flow may be due to the that is forces may be the water store at the dam. Suppose it will be flow because of the it's store at a higher level, the water will be flow because of the level difference at the 2 point. That means there are different forces, gravity force or pressure force, because of that fluid is moving. So here we are considering about the what forces are acting on the fluid particle along with the motion of the fluid. So in this case we are considering about the this dynamic behavior of the fluid is governed by the Newton's second law of motion. So we know Newton's second law of motion as a force is equal to mass into acceleration. Rate of change of momentum is nothing but the force. So here forces are applied maybe on this, suppose in this forces are applied on this axial fan. So at that time fluid is moving. This second diagram is the uh, airfoil shape. In that case the air may be moving along that. So at that time fluid may be exert a force over this airfoil blade. So that we have to consider the fluid motion with forces causing the flow in fluid dynamics. So second law of Newton's second law of motion, according to that, force is nothing but mass into acceleration. So here force are having the different components. One is the force due to the gravity. So every particle possesses certain weight, and that weight of the fluid mg is acting downward. So that force due to the gravity is Fg. Second one is the pressure force. Fp is the force due to the pressure gradient, or sometimes force applied because of the uh, suppose we can consider here the force is in this tank. Suppose this as a piston, and here fluid is there. So this piston will be apply force over the fluid. So this force is due to the that causes motion of the fluid. That is the force due to the pressure gradient or force applied by some means. So here we are considering the second term as a Ft is the force due to the pressure gradient. So we know always there is flow takes place. Flow will be takes place if there is a difference of pressure at 2 point. If you consider pressure uh, at this point is more, then will be flow will be takes place in a direction where pressure is reduced. So pressure liquid flows from high pressure to low pressure, that is there is exist a pressure gradient. So this force due to the pressure is Fv. Next term is force due to the viscosity. So already consider viscosity is resistance to the flow. Viscosity is the resistance to the flow, and viscosity, there is a, this is the velocity variation. So we have considered already, in viscosity shear stress is mu, viscosity mu du by dy. So shear stress is nothing but force upon area. So this force is the shear force is equal to, we can write area into mu du by dy. So this force is acting because of the viscosity. So viscous forces are important when the fluid is laminar one, that means one layer is moving with another layer. So there are well defined layers and fluid is moving along a streamlines, that is the laminar flow. So uh, oil flow is the example of viscous flow. In that case, they apply resistance. If the one fluid is moving with another higher velocity, the other layer applies resistance to that. That resistive force is the viscosity. Next, when fluid is flowing, there is a turbulence. Now suppose there is a restriction in the flow. Suppose flow is taking place as like this, and some object or uh, some, in this case suppose fluid is moving and some obstacle is present. At that time, some fluid layers will be move along the streamline, but some will be the recirculating here. So turbulence means one kind of um, particles are mixing. Particles are mixing. Initially they are moving along a streamline. Fluid is moving along a streamline, but if there is obstacle or resistance in the flow, there may causes turbulence, means mixing of these fluid particles, that is called as turbulence. So turbulent flow is causing the force, that is the force due to the turbulence. So turbulence is more when the velocities are higher, when velocities are very higher and less viscosity fluid is there. Next one force is due to the compressibility. We already considered compressible means gases are compressible. Its density changes when you compress the gas, its density is increased. So that for compressibility is considered when the gases and particularly high velocity air or gas is moving. So these are the different forces are acting on the fluid in the motion. So gravity force, pressure force, viscosity force, turbulent force and compressibility force. Now if you neglect these two forces, turbulence and compressibility, and only three forces are considered, that means force due to the gravity, force due to the pressure of the fluid and force due to the viscosity, then that equation form will be called as a Navier-Stokes equation. In that only these three forces are considered. Compressibility and turbulence are neglected. We are assuming that the flow is laminar and incompressible, means water is not compressible. So that is the, we can use the assume the Ft and Fc are negligible. So Navier-Stokes equation is applied and obtained for, again Navier-Stokes is obtained by using the Newton's second law of motion, that is rate of change of momentum is, momentum means mass into velocity. So m dv by dt, m m dv by dt. So dv by dt means velocity change with respect to time. That is nothing but the dv by dt is the acceleration. So force is equal to mass into acceleration, we know. So Navier-Stokes equation is obtained using either considering the three forces only: force due to gravity, force due to pressure, and force. So net force is addition of these forces, and this will be equal to mass into acceleration, that is change of momentum. So here we have considered this term. Rate of change of momentum is dv by dt, rho dv by dt, and this is the addition of all summation of forces. Del p means here, uh, uh, here del p means variation of pressure along the three axes. If you consider Cartesian system, so pressure gradient may be function of x, y, and z coordinates. So variation of pressure along the streamline is three dimensional. So this p is varying along x, y, and z. So that is the variation of, that is will be the deba p by, variation is along x-axis is deba p by deba x. Deba means for partial derivative. So similarly along y will be the deba p by deba y. So as like pressure force is there, and negative sign means pressure gradient is negative. That is pressure is reducing in the direction of flow. Now next component is the mu. Mu is viscosity, dynamic viscosity. Mu del square v. So that means this is the viscous force, that is variation of viscosity is the mu del square v, and this is the gravity force, rho g bar. G bar indicates the gravity is again changing along this gravitation force along x y z direction. So dv bar by dt, dv bar by dt, that is capital D, is indicate total derivative. So in last we consider last class, last chapter kinematics, d by dt is total derivative. Total derivative of v means velocity will be the, now velocity changing with respect to the time and with respect to the space. So that is dv bar by dt will be the deba v by deba t plus v, variation of velocity. Del indicates, del is operating, that means it is the deba by deba x, deba by deba y, and deba by deba z. So this is a three dimensional operator that will be indicate partial derivative of v along x y z. So this is the Navier-Stokes equation. In that three forces, pressure force, viscosity force, and gravity force are considered. So solution to this equation, these are the three dimensional equations will be applied for the three dimensional flows. So next we consider, so this will be the in analyze the forces. Now if the flow will be takes place along this blade, so pressure will be acting. In that case the viscosity, because of the viscosity, viscous force is acting on this blade, pressure force is acting on this, and gravitational force acting. So we can use Navier-Stokes equation to analyze flow along the blade or flow along the any objects. Next we consider Euler's equation of motion along the streamline. So for simple geometries or flow along the streamline, that is we have considered streamline is tangential to the velocity vector. So streamline present direction of the flow. So we are obtaining Euler's equation of motion along streamline. So we have considered here object, a cylindrical fluid element as like this. Its length is ds, and cross sectional area is dA. Cross sectional area is dA. So cylindrical element of a cross sectional dA. So fluid element is in a shape of cylindrical, cross sectional area dA, and length is ds. Now we are considering again here force is nothing but rate of change of momentum. So we are using that same principle. The pressure force acting in the direction of flow will be the PDA. So force is nothing but pressure into area. So force PDA will be act on the fluid in direction of force. Similarly, opposite force will be act in the fluid element, that will be the PDA, that is initial force plus partial derivative of P along the S. So P plus deba P by deba deba by S PDA along the distance ds. So taking common dA, we get P plus deba P by deba S ds. So this is the force acting in the opposite direction. Third force, one force is in the direction of force, pressure force, another opposite force, and third force is the weight of the element. So weight is nothing but m, that is here we have considered weight is rho g dA by dA ds. So here weight, that is the weight of the fluid element, is acting in the downward direction. So mass is equal to rho v. So volume of this fluid element is area into length. So volume is dA ds, and so mass is written as a rho dA ds. Mass is written as a rho dA ds. So weight is mg, that is rho g dA ds, weight of the fluid element. Now we are considering that this weight is acting in the downward direction, and theta is the angle between the direction of the flow and weight of the fluid element. So this theta is the angle between the direction of flow and weight of the fluid element is theta. Now, considering the second law of motion, Newton's second law of motion, resultant force on the fluid element in the direction of streamline must be equal to mass into acceleration. So PdA is direction of flow positive. In a negative direction is opposite P plus dA P by dA by S dA minus weight of the fluid element is this, equals to mass is rho into volume. Mass is equal to rho into volume of the fluid element. So we can write volume is rho dA area into ds. So mass is written as rho a dA ds and acceleration. So now acceleration we have already considered. Acceleration is dv by ds, total derivative of v with respect to the space coordinate. So considering again the velocity is varying with respect to the space as well as with respect to the time. So v is a function of space and time. So it will be take partial derivative of dA v by dA s, means variation of v with respect to the space, and ds by dt plus variation of velocity with respect to time. So we get ds by dt is nothing but the v. So v dv by ds dA v by dA t. Now if you consider the steady flow, for steady flow properties with respect to time are constant. So its derivative is 0. So acceleration uh, will be equal to v dv dA v by dA s. So putting in this equation we get acceleration v dA v by dA s. So in dividing by the rho ds dA, here ds dA is there, here ds dA is present, and here dA ds and rho. So we get in first term minus dA p by rho ds minus g cos theta v dA v by dA s, or taking on the right side dA p, this equation we get. Now if you consider this is the ds along the streamline, angle is theta, and this distance is, suppose we consider the dz in this diagram, the weight of the fluid element is acting, suppose this is the dz, this is ds. Now next, if you consider here, so cos theta will be the dz upon ds, dz upon ds. So we can write cos theta as a dz upon ds here. So cancelling ds in each term, we get dp by rho. So dp means variation of pressure, dp by rho, dp by rho plus g dz plus v dv, v dv. So this is, this equation is called as a Euler's equation of motion. dP by rho g dz plus v dv is called as Euler's equation for a streamline. Now next important equation we are obtaining as a Bernoulli's equation of motion. Bernoulli's equation of motion, that is obtained by integrating Euler's equation of motion. So already we obtained integration of dP by rho, integration of g dz plus integration of v dv is constant. Now if you assume that flow is incompressible, that is density is not changing, water, oils or liquids are incompressible, so we assume density constant. So integration of dP is P, rho is constant. So for incompressible, rho is constant. We take the outside. So P by rho plus integration of dz is z and v dv integration of v square by 2. So we get multi uh, P by rho g, P by rho g. So that means dividing by the g each term P by rho g, here we get z v square by 2g, or we can write P by rho g plus v square by 2g plus z is equal to constant. So this is called as Bernoulli's equation that we obtained from Euler's equation. P by rho g, P by rho g is called as a, that is pressure head, v square by 2g is called as a kinetic head and g head is called as potential head. So P by rho g is called as a pressure energy per unit weight of the fluid or pressure head. V square by 2g is called kinetic energy per unit weight or kinetic head. And Z is called as potential energy per unit weight or potential head. So this Bernoulli's equation, in that we are assuming the fluid is ideal, means viscous forces are not considered, flow is steady, means we are considering properties are constant with respect to time, flow is incompressible, means density of the fluid is not changing, and flow is irrotational, that is flow is along the streamline. So these are assumptions. So we have considered here this, from this Bernoulli's theorem is developed that states that for steady ideal flow, steady means with respect to time properties are constant, ideal flow means viscosity forces are not considered, incompressible fluid means density is constant. In that condition, the total energy at any point of the fluid is constant. Now, total energy means energy in the fluid, maybe because of the pressure, means force applied to the fluid that possesses pressure energy. Kinetic energy is due to the velocity of the fluid, and potential energy is due to the gravity, that means it is uh, due to its potential energy stored due to the position of the fluid particle. So pressure energy is taken as P by rho g, kinetic energy V square by 2g, potential energy Z. So these are per unit weight of the fluid. So we can consider here pressure is equal to, we know, force upon area, force upon area. So here if you consider multiply by this, force is multiplied by d and area is also multiplied by d. So here we get work and area into, so d multiplied and divided by d. So p we get work energy, w is the work, fd is force into displacement is work, area into displacement is volume. So pressure represent work obtained per unit volume. Now if you consider this work as a same volume and per unit this pressure per unit weight of the fluid. So weight of the fluid is, we know as a uh, weight of the fluid as a mg, mg. So here we get in that case if you consider P is equal to, we get W upon V, So here up till this P is equal to, we get work energy per unit. Work is we get work upon volume. So work is the capacity, that means work, that means here work per unit volume, that means energy is required to perform this work. So pressure here represent the energy per unit volume because of apply force. Now if you consider in this term, why we are taking the this this P by rho g is called as a pressure energy per unit weight, or also pressure head. Now you consider if the P by rho g. So here P we obtain as a work P by rho g. P is we consider weight per unit volume, work per unit volume, and rho g. So rho g here. Now rho will be equal to, we can write W volume, rho is mass upon volume, into G. So volume get cancelled. So P by rho G is nothing but the energy. So we are remaining work upon mg. Mg is weight. So here pressure energy P by rho G represent energy per unit weight of the fluid. So here pressure energy per unit weight, pressure energy per unit weight of the fluid. And if you see the its dimensions, P by rho G dimension are the in the meter. If the dimensions, so that is also called as head. Dimension of the pressure we know as a Newton per meter square. Dimension of the density is kg per meter cube, and g meter per second square. So here if you cancel out meter square and meter cube will be the cancel, or we can rearrange again here. P by rho g, force pressure is Newton, we can consider Newton per meter square into kg per meter cube into meter per second square. Or we can, by this way we will not get pressure is we know, also we can write force as a kg meter per second. Force is mass into acceleration, and uh, force upon area will be the meter square. And again density unit are kg per meter cube, and g is meter per second square. Now this meter per second cancel, and meter square and cube in that it will be cancelled. Kg will be cancelled. So only remaining from cube, meter cube, mass is remaining. So P by rho g is having dimension of mass, having dimension of meter. Similarly, we obtain dimension of V square. V is in the meter square. V is meter per second. So it's meter square per second square. And G is in meter per second square. So this cancel, meter and square cancel. So it is again V square by 2G having dimension of meter, and Z is in meter. So that's why it is also called as potential energy per unit, or potential head. V square by 2G is called as a kinetic head. Now why we call it as a energy? If you consider energy, uh, this V square by 2G will be energy, because kinetic energy formula we know, half mv square, mass into V square. So mass, half mv square is the kinetic energy. So kinetic energy per unit weight will be divided by mg. Mg is weight. So mass will be cancelled, and we get half, that means V square by 2G. This will be again energy. So that's why it is called kinetic energy per unit weight. And we know potential energy is because of the position. So this is the Z elevation difference between the 2 points. So energy possessed because of its position with respect to the datum line is called as the potential energy, and its formula we know as a mass potential energy mgz. So per unit weight will be divided by mg. So these two terms will be cancelled and remain only z. So this head potential energy per unit weight are also called as potential head. So that means this equation is actually the these three heads. So Bernoulli's theorem states that in steady ideal flow or incompressible fluid, the total energy at the point of the fluid is constant. So total energy consists of pressure energy, kinetic energy and potential energy. So these three terms actually represent P by rho g is the pressure head or also pressure energy per unit weight. This is kinetic energy per unit weight or kinetic head, and Z is the datum or potential head or potential energy per unit weight. So all three are representing total energy possessed by the fluid. Total energy possessed by the fluid, and that we get equals to the constant. So Bernoulli's equation is obtained by this. We have obtained this. So all three are energies. So total energy of the fluid is constant. That is simply. So along the flow, if we consider the flow, if we consider the flow of the fluid, so along that flow, the energy at a given point or energy of the fluid will be constant. So that is total energy will be constant. So total energy consists of uh, pressure energy, kinetic energy and potential energy. So when one of the energy increases, suppose sometime if the flow takes place through a nozzle along the flow, so velocity is increased because area is reduced, velocity will be increased in that case. So there will be conversion of one form of energy. As total energy is constant, so some pressure energy will be converted into the velocity. So that is the total energy is constant. There can be a conversion from one form of energy, that is pressure to the velocity, or velocity to the pressure may be possible. But total energy possessed by fluid is constant. That is called Bernoulli's equation. P by rho g v square by 2g plus z equals to constant. So for this is called as modified Bernoulli's equation. Modified Bernoulli's equation, or that is for real fluid. So real fluid having always viscosity, oil or most of the fluid having viscosities. Viscosity means resistance to the flow. That means flow are there is a friction between the two layers of the fluid. So flow will not frictionless. There is always friction when fluid is flowing. So that means there is always resistance to the flow. Therefore, there are certain losses of energy due to this friction. Frictional losses are there. So actually, we have for real fluid, we have to consider the this friction of the force, and the total energy will not be constant. There is some loss of the head along the flow. This is due to the viscosity, and that means due to the friction between the fluid layers. So this loss is considered as a HL. So modified Bernoulli's equation, suppose at a initial point the energies of fluid. So if your fluid is flowing along this direction, so at section 1 and at section 2, the energy at the section 1 is P by rho g v square by 2g z1. This is the total energy at section 1. At section 2, this is the energy. But due to the friction and this, total energy will not constant. there is some loss of energy, that is the HL, loss of energy between 1 and 2. So this is the modified Bernoulli equation where frictional losses are considered. So we have considered in this as a fluid dynamics, then uh, Navier-Stokes equation, Euler's equation, and Bernoulli's equation. So Bernoulli's equation having the number of applications in a fluid flow. So Bernoulli's equation is simply the total energy of the fluid is constant along the flow. So means total energy is remaining same. Only one pressure energy may be converted into the kinetic energy, or kinetic energy can be converted into pressure energy, but total energy of the fluid is constant same along the flow. That is the Bernoulli's equation. So Bernoulli's equation having the number of applications, that is flow measurement, again calculating the forces along the flow. So we consider numericals and applications of Bernoulli's equation in next class. Thank you.